Good evening and welcome to WKYT News on your Friday. There is a new push in Lexington right now to ban the sale of dogs and cats in pet stores. One Urban County Council member is set to introduce a new proposal.
WKYT's Jessica Umbro talked with her and an animal advocate about how this ordinance could impact Kentucky's furry friends. It's our top story at 5:30.
People see the little puppy in the window and, oh, it's so cute, and they make an impulse buy. And we've gotten a lot of those dogs put back in rescue 2 months later.
The Lexington Fayette Urban County Council says the ordinance was referred to the Social Services and Public Safety Committee by Council member Jennifer Reynolds.
I think that we have to take into consideration the current situation that we have, which is an abundance of stray animals. And if we're going to be humane, then we need to be thoughtful in how people are acquiring cats and dogs.
With the holiday season underway, I'm told that it's a particularly difficult time to work in animal shelters because of the tendency to return animals that are often given as holiday presents.
We don't allow Christmas gifts where somebody will purchase or adopt a dog for somebody else unless that individual knows.
In a statement to WKYT, Todd Blevins, the Kentucky State Director for the Humane Society of the United States, said, quote, "We are hopeful that Lexington will soon join the nearly 500 other communities, including Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, and Louisville, that have passed similar laws to stop puppy and kitten mill abuse and protect consumers." It's an initiative Spritzer hopes spreads throughout the Commonwealth.
And I really hope this happens throughout Kentucky because I think it's going to be for the better.
In Lexington, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.